to see you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Sure, absolutely. Come on over. So tell us what we're seeing industry-wide this year.
Well, I have to say, in listening to Chandra's remarks, I couldn't disagree with absolutely anything she said. We certainly are living in a time where the digital transformation is moving at a much more accelerated pace than anything that we've seen in the past. And I think as we look at the opportunities for the emerging technologies that are probably getting the most exposure right now, AI, machine learning, blockchain, that it really provides tremendous opportunity for the industry to be able to use these technologies to achieve better outcomes in a way that's not been possible.
And OSCRE is there to make sure that all of the metrics, all of the bits and pieces match up. Can you speak to that?
Absolutely. OSCRE, for those of you that may not be familiar, is a member-based organization that's focused on the development of standards that address various aspects of real estate, from space through leases, occupancy costs, portfolio information exchange, and frankly, a whole lot of other things in between. And if there's ever been a conversation where standards are more relevant than ever before, it's as we're talking about emerging technologies, and also that middle piece of developing an effective data governance program that has to be in place to utilize any of them.
Yeah, yesterday and today, and even last year in our conversation, blockchain is playing a greater and greater role. And last year you and I spoke about how that will eventually be standardized and governed. Over the last year, what's evolved on that?
Well, I think probably the most notable aspect of blockchain is that those people who this time last year weren't sure that it was real, weren't sure that it was going to impact their life, have really moved forward to realize that not as so much blockchain is coming, but that it's here. It's been embraced by other industries that collaborate with real estate, like the fintech world, the insurance world, supply chain, and healthcare, just to call out a few, and that it's time to look at opportunities within the industry to collaborate. And I think that's really a perfect space for OSCRE to really help move things forward.
What are your other important initiatives that you're launching or working toward this year?
Great. So one of the things that we have spent a significant amount of time, both from a volunteer engagement perspective as well as from a product management perspective this year, is revamping the standards to a reference data model that makes it a whole lot easier for organizations to implement and helps walk them through the process with development of a starter kit that's a step-by-step approach to assist with implementation. We've also revamped our data dictionary to make it a lot more, I'll call it user-friendly tool for those that are implementing, so that there's every reason in the world why people should be looking at implementing standards.
That's great, and so you're making it a lot easier for people to start out correctly so they don't ever have to go back and revamp anything.
Exactly, and I think we're also getting more interest from around the globe, not just in the markets where we've been traditionally stronger, like Western Europe and North America. I'll be speaking at a property owners conference in South Africa week after next about blockchain and about standards. So I think that as we look at it, we talk about real estate being a global business. Increasingly, I think we're seeing that play out in the marketplace.
Is there anything else that, as we begin to wrap up today, that you really would like people to realize about either the work that OSCRE is doing or the things that they need to keep their eye on, the things and themes that they need to keep their eye on as the industry goes?
Yeah, I'd say, Jerry, probably two things. One is really take a harder look at collaborating with others in the industry to move it forward. When we look at industries that frankly are further ahead in terms of technology, they've been able to master that, even though they may have some of the same, I'll call it the measured level of resistance.
Right.
But also from the standpoint of technology, working collaboratively helps address the issue of risk as we look at all these technologies, and also increases transparency. So there are a lot of positive reasons, both for the implementation within organizations, and also the ability to communicate more effectively with business partners.
Yeah, so really it's a win-win industry, and as the technology and the velocity increases, so does our need to really hold each other's hands through this process.
Absolutely, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, I'm just reflecting back to you. And anything else that you can say for people out there who want to get involved with what you do?
I would say, look at our new Council of 100. It's a membership umbrella, I'll call it, that is designed to not just have people be members, but to take an active role, taking the strategic longer view in what the needs of the industry are, and not just talking about them, but moving to action steps to move things forward. And we welcome participation in that program.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Lisa Stanley from OSCRE, an organization that does so much for this industry, and we're lucky to have you with us. Well.